It's Wednesday. Oh, wait, Judah, hold on. I muted you. So
you
Judah,
muted me because I was taking a business call. You thought that I wouldn't be able to wrap it up.
Calls. He right before the show, we're about to go into the bumper music, and his girlfriend's like, "Oh, hey, hon, how you doing?" I'm just kidding.
Now, Josh, if I actually had a girlfriend out there who wasn't the one who just called me, she would be mad at you right now.
I'm just kidding. Oh, come on.
No, it was a business call. It was somebody who had reached out to me and on my website, and I called him earlier today, and so I just didn't want them to go to voicemail without taking it. Dude, I don't know about you, but I am rocking and rolling. I mean, business is popping. I feel like I love having more work than I know how to get done. I love being in a position where it takes a lot to get back to people and follow up on all the emails. And I'm like, I got to remember to call this guy, and I better write that down. Look, I even took a sticky note and made notes of calls that I have to make and things that I have to do. If you're not rocking and rolling in real estate right now, you should be marketing problem.
Yeah, get to work if you're not.
And this is actually something though they'll understand. We're in the summertime. We're in a good market. There's been a lot of pent up demand. There's a whole lot of things that are causing what's going on right now. But understand two things. You need to, number one, understand that there's a lot of people who are stressed out. Title in particular. Title was behind the 8 ball before. In the summer and spring, it was very challenging to get anything done in the title world because they were understaffed. Every title company in the area was understaffed. And then also, not only were they understaffed, but because they're understaffed, they can't poach people because companies understood they were understaffed. So they were paying out little, bonuses here and there to keep people happy.
That's right.
Also, if you do hire somebody, most title operations are not big operations. It's not like there's 30 or 40 people working in the title department of a law firm or a closing department. So you've got 2 or 3 or 4 ladies usually working in the title department. If you want to go from 3 to 4, when you hire that person, one of your 3 existing people has to spend at least 50% of their time training that person for a month or 2 or 3 months. So the ramp up period on that is really big, and during that time you might be losing clients, and who knows when the business is going to subside. There's just like the Great Depression changed the way a lot of individual people ran their personal finances, and that affected even how my mother was raised because my grandmother went through the Great Depression. The Great Recession, during the Obama years, not blaming Obama, just picking a marker in time. During the Obama years, that Great Recession that we were through, I know I'm a lot more cautious as a business owner. I know I look and watch my expenditures a whole lot more and don't sign up for new things and new staff and new offices and new technology maybe as soon as what I should. And so title is really slow right now. Sorry, that was a 2.5 minute spiel on. I just hear title people all the time. One of my closest personal friends is a title officer, and she tells me all the time about just how rough it is in that world.
Well, so all right, I've got a little bit of context on this. I wholesaled a lot of deals in Philadelphia, and in a lot of markets in Philly, title is the key component. You could have a ready to go seller, a ready to go buyer, cash buyer, ready chomping at the bit, ready to close, but then title comes back, and it's like an explosion of cash flying everywhere, and it's not going in anybody's pocket,
right?
Because the title kills it. Title is such a vital part of the transaction. And I feel like there's 2 different types of title companies. You got the title companies that are retail, that deal mostly with real estate agents and are looking for median home price and above. And frankly, I think that's the best slice of business for, if you're going to be a title agent, mainly because the fees are better, the titles are cleaner. And at the end of the day, you don't have as much of a push on a time frame to get things done. Whereas on the investor side, I think you've got typically lower dollar amounts. You've got sellers that are oftentimes challenged. They've got problems, whether it's life problems, financial problems, whatever. And so titles are a little bit more messed up, and everybody wants to close yesterday. So
especially because they waited too long to admit they have a problem.
Sure. I mean, that's always what happens, right? Like that's always what happens. But then now, I mean, that's in a typical market. Now, I mean, I was telling Judah before the show, we were looking at like 5-6 closings before Tuesday as of yesterday. And then as of this morning, I have closings that was scheduled tomorrow, gets pushed till 2 weeks from now, can't get a water payoff, need a mortgage payoff. And like a 2 week, typically I was getting title back in like 5 to 7 days. Now we're looking at 2 weeks just to get the title, the abstract back. And so look, it is what it is. Business is going to keep going. We'll catch up. Everything will be great. It always is. Sunshine and rainbows, right?
You know who's willing to very much admit that they have a problem? Me with this haircut. I mean, like, I just cannot wait to get out. And I had to work outside yesterday and trim a tree that was like on the side of my house, and like, worked up a little bit of a sweat. And like, I'm not used to having a sweaty upper neck. Like, and I have so much hair there, like on the, like my, I'm just done. Like, we're in green on Friday, and I am so excited, my friend.
I got to tell you something that you're not going to like hearing.
Trim this mess.
I saw a picture of you from February, and I almost didn't recognize you, like the eyes. And I thought, hey, this is like from 5, 6, 10 years ago. You've aged, man. You've aged over COVID. Like, you've put on, your birthday was just last week, but man, that 41st year, man, it really put some years on.
Yeah, it did put some years on me. Well, I'm losing weight. I'm getting tan. My hair's going crazy. I've got a beard. It's a lot of it is the beard.
It is. You know what though? You get yourself a haircut, you look like a brand new boy. It's great.
Right. I'm very excited. Hey, so we have to call it audible. So we're doing news tomorrow.
Well, let's back up one step. Like, we didn't even do an intro.
We didn't even introduce
the real estate show. This is our Wednesday episode. We're going to be doing some education today, and typically, Judah, jump in. Go ahead. Give us.
Typically we do education Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday we have a guest. Friday we do a news wrap up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we still talk about the news, but only for like 2 to 3 minutes, and then we do a full news show on Friday. We're swiping, switching Thursday and Friday of this week. And because our guest is going to be so amazing, who's our guest going to be, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. So my business partner, Chris Haddon, is going to be on the show. He's my co-author in the book we wrote. He wrote another book called The Snowball. He is a really, really seasoned business professional, and he's got major depth when it comes to talking about marketing. We kind of had our comeuppance together, over the last 13 years, kind of grinding it out. And he's got a ton of experience with online marketing, with even did some doggone it, now it's escaping me, but where you sell other people's products, doggone it. We'll talk about
affiliate marketing.
Yeah, exactly. He and his partner in the Maryland office, Jason Balin, they had an affiliate marketing company where they sold other people's products and just concentrated on online marketing all over the place. Like, he's got a really great background. We're going to dive into some of that stuff Friday, but he couldn't make it tomorrow, so we pushed the interview till Friday. And tomorrow we're going to jump into the news. Hey, we might miss a couple things, but you know what? Too bad. We'll talk about them next week.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So, Judah, tell me about yourself and why people should listen to you.
My name is Judah Hoover. I've been doing real estate for about 25 years now. It used to be, what I spent about half my adult life doing. Real estate is basically what I've spent my whole adult life doing at this point. I've been doing it for so long. And I want to be the agent that you call when it comes time to list your house. If you're looking to buy real estate, I want to be the guy who walks you through that process. I'm also an executive. The brokerage that I work for also manages about 4,000 units across 4 different states. So, a lot of people say that their biggest investment is their primary residence. As we whistle through the graveyard, a lot of people say that their largest investment is their real estate. So is their primary residence. So even if you're just looking to buy a primary residence, why not talk to somebody who understands not only real estate, but investment real estate? If it's going to be your biggest investment, that would be a great person for you to talk about. So love to talk to anybody about real estate.
That's awesome. My name's Josh Weidman. I'm with Hard Money Bankers. Over the last 13, almost 14 years, I've been a full-time real estate investor. Started flipping houses, did it terribly. Got into wholesaling, did it really well. Built and sold a property management company. I've had rentals over the years, had a turnkey investment business. I've flipped a ton of houses. I've done a lot of renovations, wholesaled a ton of houses, and now I am a lender. If you're looking for funding for your next project, we're a direct lender, which means that I can underwrite and approve your loan on the same day that you call me. So long as title's ready, we can close the very next day. So if you've got something that you need to fund quickly or you just need to fund well, contact me, 717-213-8488, or you can go online at hardmoneybankers.com. We service Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Northern Virginia, and DC. All right. So
there's a teaching moment there, Josh, that I think is important. It's okay to not succeed the first, not only your first couple deals, but also the first way you try to do real estate.
That's right.
So, maybe you tried rehabbing and you find out that you're not good at running a construction crew, but you're really good at finding deals. You're really good at negotiating deals. And so you become a wholesaler, or vice versa. You're not good at negotiating and buying deals, but you're really good at construction and managing a wholesale deal. Or you don't want to, you're not interested in the taxes and the other headaches that come along with flipping properties, and so you want to go into the buy and hold strategy. I found that I was really good at underwriting deals. I found that I was really good at figuring out whether something was a deal or not, or how to tweak something to make it a deal. So I've done dozens and dozens and dozens of paper deals, basically backing other people in their plays. I had a $7 million hard money business. We've talked about this before, Josh. It's funny that I now am an executive in a property management company, and you used to be in a property management role, and I used to be in the hard money business, and you are in the hard money business.
Well, so Taz asked a really good question here. What made me switch from all that cool stuff to lending? So first of all, I still wholesale and flip properties. I mean, I still do.
We were just talking about marketing that you've been doing, and you were actually asking me about a property that was in my wheelhouse where I grew up. Listen, guys, I may live in downtown Lancaster right now, but my heart will always be in Southern Lancaster. And you had a question about a deal down there.
Well, that's exactly right. And I ended up hooking up with Jason Sansovino, who you recommended to me. And we're doing a short sale down in Nottingham on a really nice property that, who knows, I might move into, but I'm certainly going to rehab it. But the bottom line is you don't necessarily have to do just one thing. And when I first started flipping properties, I did it because I thought that was the only thing that was going. I didn't even know about wholesaling. I didn't know about hard money lending. I didn't know about, I didn't even know about rentals or property management or anything like that. I had no idea. I got the Carlton Sheets no money down system when I was 16, read the heck out of it, did nothing else with it, and then found myself, with 3 houses in the midst of flips. And you know why I stopped doing that, Taz? I lost money on all 3. That's a good reason not to continue on the same track. But wholesaling ended up being a great outlet for me to learn the market, make some money, understand marketing, and really educate myself as I was making money. So, I mean, that's an aside. But let's jump in because we got a little long-winded here in our intro.
Very good content. I feel good about this. We still got eyeballs. Not everybody's tuned us down. We don't have any thumbs down yet, so I think I think we're doing good.
When are they gonna put the middle finger up for the icon?
Right, exactly.
Just kidding. Sorry.
I got enough haters out there that we don't need to give ideas to. Maybe everybody likes you, Josh, but
they used to. Anyway,
right.
So today we're gonna talk about outbound text. I love this as much as I love the other two things that we talked about this week with the outbound calling and the direct mail. This is just another way to grab attention. Wanted to start this slideshow with some very interesting facts about text messaging. So, of all of the things you use your smartphone for, who would believe that text messaging is the number one use for smartphones in the US and worldwide? And number two, oh shoot, this is a typo. It's more than 26 billion messages sent in the US every day.
I mean, that's a rounding error. You're allowed to be off by a billion. I checked my bank account the other day and it was off by a billion from what I was hoping was in there.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I mean, if you're not using outbound text, it's because you either don't understand it or you don't like success and responses, right?
Yeah.
So why text? So when Eric Brewer was on here, he made a point that I don't know if anybody even picked up on, but I sure as heck did. I always take notes with our guests, and it's one of the things that really jumped out to me. He has a 5 points of contact for every marketing list. 5 points of contact, touching 5 times. This is a great way to touch people, right? It's just like the outbound voicemail drops. This is a way that you can respond. It's a very non-invasive way to get people's attention and get them to open and respond to the message or not, and they can do it at their timeline and convenience. So that's a big deal.
You're also looking to collect no's. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you're following up with somebody and they say, "Hey, Josh, listen, I already sold my house to somebody else." If you call somebody and leave them a voicemail,
yeah,
and it's like, and it says, "Hey, Josh, this is Judah Hoover calling you. I was out there and looked at your mother's house. By the way, sorry again about her passing, but I'm really interested in talking about an offer and everything like that." Josh could say, "Judah doesn't know. I already sold that house, or I've decided to flip it myself. I can do this," or whatever. The other reason Josh is a no, he's just going to not listen to the voicemail. He's just going to hit close and go from there.
That's exactly right.
With the text though, somebody will say, "Go pound sand. Hey, not interested anymore." Whatever it is that they're going to say, it's going to be, you're looking to collect no's.
That's right. It's really simple. Everybody's sending text messages, right? Everybody back and forth. Everybody's texting. That's a big deal. That's a really important thing when everybody's communicating like that. Why wouldn't you? It's just another way to reach out and touch people. And most importantly, there's a 96% read rate. That is humongous. That's gigantic. I mean, compared to emails.
Well, because you read your text messages right away, right? We all get those alerts on our phone, and that our Gmail account just got an email, and we think, okay, great. Well, I'll look at that later on. When a text comes in, you read it right away, and you make a decision about what are you going to do with that right now. That's right.
So I want to make a note on this too. So 2 weeks ago, I sold a vacant property that I had in Philly, right? It was a rough, actually, when I bought it, it was a rough neighborhood and I overpaid for the property. And I knew I was overpaying, but it was a hot neighborhood. And I kind of thought, hey, look, I'll rehab it and maybe I'll refi it into a rental or whatever. Well, I got cold feet after I bought it and I didn't renovate anything. I demoed the place and we hit a water line and I had a $3,500 water bill, and I'm like, man, this is not a good omen. I'm going to board this thing up. I'm just going to leave it there, whatever. Fast forward 4 years, that property's in my wife's name. She starts getting text messages about this property. Hey, would you be interested in selling? Hey, is this something you might want to do? She negotiated the whole deal without talking to the person that was calling her. Come to find out, the guy that she negotiated the deal with was a friend of mine, another wholesaler that I knew. So I called him up. I'm like, great, send me the contract. We'll get this done. Bing, bang, boom, we're done. 90% of the communication was all over text message. And it was really effective because here's what is likely to happen. You're not going to be the only person reaching out to this person.
Correct.
You're probably not. And even if they're getting 3 or 4 different text messages, that helps you, because guess what? My wife didn't know who she was talking to.
Right.
She didn't know who the heck it was, and she knew a couple names, but there are 4 or 5 people that got left in the dust because they were the last one to drop it. Like, they just dropped the ball. Text message is an easy way to talk to people with low pressure. And you know what? If they're not interested, they walk away. And most of the time when they do, if you've got a communication going, it's not because they're not interested. They're not interested now. So
Right.
keep it going. All right. So let's look at, all right. So there's really 2 types of text message marketing, right? One, you've got the blanket message approach. Now, I don't know if you've ever been at like a sporting event or a political rally where they're like, hey, sign up for our contact list, get updates on the newest thing that's happened or whatever. Text, baseball bats to 9378, whatever. So you text it and they respond and they say, hey, are you sure you want these updates? I sure do. I'll take them, Oftentimes this is done with like a giveaway or something like that. These are like these mass texts. This is not what you want to do. This is, and if you say, all right, I'm just going to upload, a big list and just blast out a text message like I would an email, that is a great way to get a call from the SEC.
Yeah.
And those fines are bigger and more offensive than what you're going to see with email. You do not want to do this. And frankly, in the context of this conversation, I don't even think they're effective.
Right.
Like they're just not. The other way to do this, the right way to do this, is to work on a platform, whether it's on your computer or it's a smartphone, to just text a message back and forth, reach out, customize it. And you know what? If you've got something that you can use on your laptop or your desktop, you can cut and paste a template, but just make sure you type something out that is customizable, including the address, including the person that, the person's name that you're reaching out to. You can send one-offs, you can do quick replies, do follow-ups, and it doesn't seem automated because
you can do it from your phone.
Yeah.
I send hundreds of follow-ups via text messages every single week from my phone, and I don't subscribe to any of these services.
That's
because
right.
You can send out 30 or 40 an hour. If you're walking a bunch of properties, getting a whole bunch of inbound leads, making a bunch of offers, you should have an Excel spreadsheet someplace, and you should just book an hour at some point during your week. I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to sit. And like what I do is, so I will send it, I will come up with what I'm going to say. Hey, we're opening back up from COVID. So excited, our area is about to go green. I'm definitely looking to buy houses and want to continue our conversation with you.
That's right.
And so that sounds kind of generic, but all I do is I just start. So I cut and paste that onto my clipboard of my phone. I type in Josh's telephone number. I type in Josh, comma, paste, send.
Right.
Go to Frank. Type in Frank's telephone number. Frank, comma, paste, send. Sally. Type in Sally's phone number. Sally, comma, paste, send. Like you can just blast off. And so I have people calling me about real estate services and being a great realtor. I have people calling me about property management stuff, and I have people calling me about deals that I'm buying and selling. And I have an Excel spreadsheet for each of them so I can keep them all straight and know what I'm doing. I went low tech about 3 years ago and just started using Google Sheets for tracking, my clients and everything like that. I might never buy a CRM again.
Dude, it's so much easier. You don't have to learn the software. I mean, this is an aside, but I got to put something in here that is really messed with by a lot of people when they are looking at these text messages. Guess what you're going to have when you are communicating back and forth? You're going to develop a training manual. You're developing a training manual so that right now this isn't automated, right? Because you are not, you don't actually know what kind of responses you're going to get. You don't know what people are going to say. But do this for 6 months. You're going to be able to have a templated training manual that you can hand off to somebody halfway across the world and pay $3.50 an hour that has great written English skills, but their skills for communicating on the phone aren't that great. Guess what? That is a really high level activity to outsource, because
Right.
now after 6 months, you're done with this activity. It's automated. It's off your plate. And you've got somebody reaching out to all of these clients over and over and over again. And you know what they're going to say. Because it's text, you don't have to go back and remember. You've got the contact records. You've got the communications. So, I mean, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So what do you need? So we've talked about on each of these things. What do you need? What's it cost? All this kind of stuff. Well, first, what you need is you need a list with cell phone numbers, right? And oftentimes, right now, skip trace, if you get skip trace numbers, oftentimes you're going to get the cell phone number. Like that's just, you're going to get it. It's probably the primary contact for a good portion of the population. So you'll have that information. This should be, the list that you're using, it should be the same list that we talked about on Monday when we talked about the outbound call drops. It should be the same list that you're mailing. So you're hitting these people. This is number 3, the third way that you're going to be contacting them. And it's just another way to follow up. So the other thing you're going to need is a smartphone. In the beginning, use your own phone. Or if you don't like that, you can get services like Ring Central, or you can get services like, buy a track phone that is prepaid, or get if you've got Comcast internet, you can get a data plan for like $20 a month. And just use that phone specifically for your texts. It's not expensive. You can get unlimited text messages. And if you have a data plan that's like an unlimited text and data, or you're sitting in your house doing these texts, it doesn't cost you a thing.
Right.
So literally one of the cheapest ways of marketing and one of the most effective. The big thing that you need here, the big takeaway on this, is a commitment to follow up.
Yeah, like everything.
Well,
if you're not going to follow up, the fortune is in the follow up.
That's right.
Josh, today, as soon as we get off the phone, I've got another call at 1:00. Between now and 1:00, I am going to be sending out hopefully 20 to 30 text messages.
Yeah.
And then I've got a call that's going to go about 45 minutes from 1 until about, and then I've got a call at 3. So from like 1:45 till 3, my plan is again to send out about another 30 to 40 text message follow-ups and reintroducing myself to certain people and other things like that. Do you know how long it would take? I couldn't hand address that many envelopes in that much time. I couldn't make that many phone calls in that much time. It would actually be hard to send that many meaningful emails in that much time. But all people are going to get an individual text message from me.
And your emails, if you send out emails, your percentage of opens and reads are going to be way lower than a text message.
Right.
All right. So here's the message. It's really simple and very straight to the point. It's just like, hey, Judah, this is Josh from Josh's Home Buying Company. Would you consider an offer on your to purchase your property at 123 Main Street? I mean, I use something that simple and straightforward. Sometimes you get a yes, sometimes you get a no. If you get a no, automated follow-up. Do you have any properties you'd be interested in selling? Any other properties?
Right.
I mean, that's the next step. And if the answer is no again, okay, move on to the next one. The follow-ups, if they say, well, I might be, or how much you offering or whatever. Now it's time to build rapport. Start the conversation. Well, without knowing a lot about your property, I couldn't give you an offer. What are you asking? Did you have a number in mind? Why did you come up with that offer? Why would, what is it that you were thinking about selling? If you can, the whole point here is to lead them to either a phone call or to schedule a time to view the property. This is a great way to start building rapport. People, especially if they don't know who you are, they're not going to pick up the phone a lot of times if you call them. They might, but there's a better chance they're not.
Everyone screens their calls these days. People
right.
don't take their call from their own mother these days till they know what they're calling about.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I used to have an employee who did that 10 years ago. I would call him, leave him a voicemail. He would shoot me a text message, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, Scott, I called you. Like, that's right. What's up. Like,
answer
the phone. I want to talk to you. And I was so annoying that he did that. Well, now everyone does it. You know what I mean? Now I feel weird, and I hate that it's like this, but I want to text people before you even call them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Josh, you and I, we even text each other and say, hey, you got time for a quick phone call? You text before, like, text is where it's at. Just use what you have. Keep it simple. Keep it direct. Also, there's nothing wrong with spicing up your messages a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a great day here in Lancaster. Loving that it's still sunny, but a little bit cooler than it's been this week. Hoping you're loving the weather. You still understand on that? I mean, anything you can say to make you sound like a human is a good thing in your messaging.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly
right.
right.
So Josh, you brought up something that's interesting. Text message people who you are looking at getting an offer out to, but also text message people who you are following up on previous offers with. So there's would obviously be two separate messages sent to two different groups of people.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and the idea is just constantly stay in contact with them, be nice, get your foot in the door, and it's closed. I mean, that's it. Like, we just want more conversations. We want to squeeze. If you're putting together a marketing list, you want to squeeze all the life out of that marketing list that you can. Every dollar that you spend on marketing has got to return. And if you're seeing 5% returns, on direct mail, well, maybe supplement that with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other things, so that on a list, maybe your return is 12%. You know what I mean? It's a much better ROI. So anyway, that's all we got for today. And anything else on your end, Judah?
No, man, that's it. I've got some news items that I want to talk to you quickly after the show about. But yeah, I love text messaging. I have fully embraced it on a blanket and individual basis, and you absolutely should as well.
It's awesome. Hey, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, like and share the video. And until then, we'll see you tomorrow. See you at noon. Take care.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.